All right, so far this week we have been talking about solving systems of equations. So remember, a system of equations are two equations here. When graphed, we want to know where they intersect. And wherever the intersection is, this will be called your solution. Okay, so that was our first method that we did on Monday. Yesterday, we talked about elimination. So solving systems of equation by eliminating one of the variables. And then we have one other method called substitution that we will look at now. Yep. All right. So substitution, when you're solving by substitution, that means you're replacing one of the variables with what it equals. Okay, so when you look at it, you want to find which equation has the variable by itself. And so in this case, this one has a y by itself. Okay, the one that has the letter by itself, you're going to take what it is equal to and replace the y with it. Okay, so this is y equals negative 3x plus 7. I'm going to take all of that and plug it in for this y. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to keep the 4x. Okay, and I'm going to keep the minus 3. But in parentheses, I'm dropping the y. The y completely goes away. And I'm going to plug in negative 3x plus 7, because that's what y is. And then I'm going to leave the rest of the problem the same. So equals 57. Okay. From here, I need to simplify this and solve for x. Okay, so the first thing, if you'll remember, is you need to distribute. Okay, this 4x will stay the same, so I'm just going to bring it down. Then negative 3 times negative 3x is a positive 9x. Negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. Then it equals 57. Okay. All right, now I'm going to look for like terms. So in this case, 4x and 9x can be added together. That is 13x minus 21 equals 57. Then I'm going to add 21 to both sides so that those will cancel out. So I'll have 13x equals 57 plus 21, which is 78. Okay, now I'm going to divide by 13. And x equals 78 divided by 13 will be 6. Okay, so remember when we're doing a system of equations, we always have an x and a y for our solution. So I have found my x, which is 6. And I found my x this time by using substitution. I plugged negative 3x plus 7 in for y and solved for x. Now I have x. Okay, so I'm going to pick an equation just like we've been doing on the other stuff. I'm going to go with the first one. That's a negative. So I'm going to pick the first equation, and now I'm plugging in 6 for x. So negative 3 times 6 plus 7. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. Negative 18 plus 7 will be negative 11. So my y value here is negative 11. So the solution to number 1 is 6, negative 11. Okay, so let's look at another example. So again, I'm looking for what variable is by itself. Okay, So when you're looking here, this x is a lonesome little x. It is completely by itself, okay? So I am going to take what it equals and plug this one in for x, okay? So last time we plugged in for y because it was y equals. This time it's x equals. So I'm going to plug all this in for x. Okay, so I'm going to have 6 parentheses. Then I'm plugging in everything I just boxed off here. Okay, so I plug that in for x plus 10y equals negative 8. All right, I have to distribute. So that is negative 48y when I multiply 6 times negative 8y. And 6 times 5 will be a positive 30. Okay, I'm going to bring down my 10y equals negative 8. Okay, now I'm going to look for like terms. So in this case, I have negative 48y and 10y. I can combine those. Okay, so negative 48 plus 10 is negative 38y. And then I'm drop down the 30 and dropping down the negative 8. Okay, and now I can subtract 30 from both sides. So I'm going to continue solving this for y. So negative 38y equals negative 8 minus 30 is negative 38. Divide by negative 38. Okay, negative 38 divided by negative 38 is a positive 1. So the first part of my the second part of my solution is 1 because that is my y value. All right, so I know my y value. I'm going to plug it back in and solve for x. So I'm going to use this top equation again. And I'm plugging this in for y. So negative 8 times 1 plus 5. So I replaced my x with the 1, my y with the 1. Negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. And then negative 8 plus 5 is negative 3. So my solution to this problem would be negative 3, 1.